What is my marathon goal time and how did I set it? In just a few short weeks, I'm going to be towing the start line at the Toronto Waterfront Marathon. And in these training vlogs, I've kind of avoided setting a hard goal, instead using my Boston qualifier time as a sort of North Star. But it's time to get real. Let's set my marathon goal time. If you're new here, my name is Eric. I'm a hobbyist runner from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I have aspirations of running in the Boston Marathon. Here's how weeks 5 and 6 of training went. Week 5 started off nice and easy on Monday with a 15k run and 450 meter strides. On Tuesday, there was an easy 13k run, and on Wednesday, there was a session.
Oh, finally some cool weather. Feels good, man. Air quality's not good, but we take those.
3k warm-up, 3 to 4 strides, and then 8 by 1k at about 10k race pace. The rest were about 4 minutes 30 seconds in between, jogging. And I gotta say, this one felt nice and controlled. Also, it felt pretty easy with the amount of rest time exceeding the amount of work time. A 13 and 16k easy run would set the stage for Saturday. A 22 kilometer long run with a 13 kilometer progression segment in the middle, ranging from about 420 per kilometer pace to 355 per kilometer pace. And I gotta say, this one caught me off guard a little, not because of the amount of work being done, but because of the temperatures. I saw mid 20 degrees Celsius and thought, okay, that's super easy, barely an inconvenience. But then, as the run wore on, it kind of climbed towards 30 and it didn't really feel good at the end. But all that being said, mid 20s, low 30s is absolutely mild given what we've been experiencing this summer. And with the heat in mind, I think now's a really good time to actually discuss what the goal time is going to be for this marathon. So a trick I like to do when evaluating realistic paces for a race is I will run the last part of a long run, like say the last 5k of a 32k run, at that target pace. And if I can hit that pace, then I know it's realistic. If I can't hit that pace, or if there's too much lactic acid building in the legs, then I know, like, okay, we're not there yet. But the thing about that trick is it really works well in temperate weather, but when it gets to kind of summerish, like, it's harder to say because the heat's playing a role. So you kind of have to like do some mental math. Pretty sure I can run this up 3. Whether that's me 255 or 258, I don't know. But the actual Boston qualifying time guarantee, which will be around 248, 247, I think that's still a little bit too far out there. I am inclined to trust the VDOT calculator once again, which says I can do it at about 412 per kilometer. That puts it at about, I believe, 258. We're gonna use that as our goal pace. And then over the winter into the spring, we'll probably really hammer home that aerobic development, get me to that place where I need to be to run 247, and then swing for the fences sometime in the fall. Okay, I think my noodles are overcooked now, so I should probably bail them out. Lunch for today, Hong Kong classic, beef brisket noodles. And with a goal time of 2:58 locked in, it was time for week 6. Where week 5 was nice, controlled, and easy, week 6 would prove that this race would be a battle and not a coronation. After a much needed rest day, there was an easy 14k and the first truly challenging session of the block. A 17k run featuring a 2x5k with 5 minutes rest in between, and the 5ks were ran at threshold. And as someone who used to run a 1x10k or 40-minute tempo run session, I gotta say this one feels really great because you're getting most, if not all, the same benefits, but you get that little 5-minute rest, so it doesn't feel too demoralizing. The session itself felt hard, and it's 2x5k, it's supposed to feel hard, it's not a walk in the park. But at the same time, I was on tired legs, and there's that heat again. And remember this little call out from week 1 and 2?
Hey, future week 5 Eric here. This fool has no idea what he's in for, so subscribe to see that upcoming Sufferfest. The pain is coming.
Yeah, it was inspired by this session right here. With the benefit of hindsight now, I know that my form tends to break down a lot more easily in the heat. Where I'll start a session with a nice lean at the ankles, that'll eventually migrate up to a lean at the hip, which is really not good. It places a lot more strain on your calves and lower back. And when your form breaks down, you're now more susceptible to injury.
And I remember limping into work and telling my coworker offhand, hey, I think I might have tweaked my hip by accident. And I didn't want to overreact because I thought, okay, you just ran a very hard session. Of course you're gonna feel sore. Only the next day, the soreness didn't get any better.
Okay, now the pain isn't frighteningly bad. I can still like move around, run, and do stuff. Just feels a bit more stiff. And you know, it is on the right hip flexor, which makes sense because you know, that is my dominant leg and it's also the one on the outside of the track, which generally does a lot more work. And I am thankful for the mileage range that I'm being given because if I had to do 13K today, I would not be happy.
Okay, ended up being 8. I wanted to go for 10, maybe the full 13, but yeah, no, my legs were just super heavy and it was not gonna happen. Also, it's not just the hip flexor, it's the lower back now, as I found out about halfway into the run. Okay, I will try to figure something out as I do my single leg exercises. I also went to do plyometrics today, but with the hip flexor and the lower back the way it is, I don't think that's safe. As for how to deal with this current situation, I believe lower back pain is caused by a weak core, so I think the move right now is to add 3 1-minute planks at the end of runs, maybe every other day. You can always have a stronger core. I think one of my coaches in the past said that, because you know, just so much goes through the core. Yeah, sorry if this video is kind of dragging out a little. I usually try to polish my videos quite a bit, as you can see my race recaps. But yeah, just trying to figure out what's happening to me in real time is kind of a process, so you're coming along for the ride. All right, now I'm nervous about this one, but I'm gonna try to do scissor jumps, which is a jump, but it's not as high impact as, actually no, I guess it would be. This might end badly. And before you ask, these are indoor shoes. They've not left this house. I'm so gonna regret this. Okay. That's 3 out of 10 on the pain scale. Okay, we're gonna try to do the lateral step down now, so. Okay, doesn't feel bad. And yeah, the main thing about this one is to try to not push off with the foot that's going down. Gives you kind of an unfair advantage. The whole point is to work on like this leg right here. Like that is taking my full body weight. It's getting stronger. Okay, and we're gonna switch sides now. I think my PT recommended I do this with a box of some, okay, that did, okay. That didn't feel good. We're gonna try that again. Okay, yeah, it's a lot harder on this side, that's for sure. Okay, that actually kind of hurt, which was surprising, but it shouldn't be. And then for the forward step. Okay, it's actually not too bad. That's curious. Front step down doesn't feel bad, but lateral does. What does it all mean? Now, what would a reasonable runner do? Well, most reasonable people would wait a day, maybe 2, maybe 3, rest and let things heal up, right? Well, what I did was I ran a 13K run with strides, a 32K long run, and a 15.5K easy run to fix things. Ugh, it feels so obvious in hindsight. I think most of us know where the story's headed, but to find out, hit subscribe. Also, how's your training going? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit like, best way to help out the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.